Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum against AEW Dark. This is November 16th, 2021. Um, a much longer show than AEW Dark Elevation. I'm going to eventually have to take a look at the numbers of both shows and see what they're doing. Curious to see Jason Strife versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Um, Powerhouse winning with the torture rack again, which is a move that he's going with. Um, and man, Hobbs just crushes him. Um, I will say that the guy who lost did a good job in defeat, so we'll give that 3 check marks. How does that work? 1 check mark for the proper person being put over. Second, if they win in definitive fashion, which most certainly happened. And third, if the person who lost did a good job, either making sure the person looked great or getting a disproportionately large amount of offense. Didn't get any offense to speak of, but did a great job. So 3 check marks. Andrade against Jossie. Andrade, who's been having a bunch of really good matches on AEW Dark, and this is no exception. Makes Jossie look pretty good here, but when Andrade gets that offense going, and it is great. And the armbar variation that Andrade does for the win, really cool looking. And again, Dark guys tend to experiment with stuff more. That's one of the fun things about this show. So 3 check marks. Mark Henry joins the commentary for Sean Spears and Wardlow with Tully Blanchard against Rennie D and Eric Cannon. So they're in Minneapolis, so they're using a lot of local guys, which is another cool thing to see. This story of Wardlow hitting power bomb after power bomb after power bomb on guys is interesting, and we're finding different stories to tell, and it is very brutal, and it makes Wardlow look very dominant. 3 check marks. Spears never tagged in, so he sort of tags himself in, and then he picks up Rennie D and hits a C4, which is pretty ridiculous. Kiana versus Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho hits that new future kick. Not a lot to this match, but the one takeaway is Ruby Soho is over. 3 check marks. Too fast, too fuego, which is unbelievably super over. Fuego 2, it is ridiculous. And Fuego 2 is likely Cody Rhodes. Going to have a little fun here against Kit Sackett and Brandon Gore. Fun stuff. Fuego hits the Tornado DDT for the win. It's fun to see Cody out there just having kind of goofy fun, if I'm being honest. It's one of the strangest stories in wrestling nobody's talking about. 3 check marks. Moving on. Mark Henry leaves commentary, and Max Caster comes out and rap. Um, Basically makes fun of Minnesota for voting for Jesse Ventura and asks why are they the Dark Order when y'all are white. I freaking laughed. What can I say? Um, Allen Five Angels and Colt Cabana against the Acclaimed. This is a competitive match, and in competitive matches, it's still a 3 check scale, but it's a slightly different reason. Do they get a check if both sides look good, which definitely happened here. This is a very competitive match, especially for AEW Dark. Um, that if a team gets put over definitively, they win. And anytime they're in a competitive match, even a mildly competitive one, the Acclaimed tend to cheat to win, and this was no exception. Boombox shot on Cabana, Max Caster for the pin. And then as something advanced, yeah, I think definitely we're going to see more Dark Order against the Acclaimed. So 3 check marks. Moving on. And another of these multi-women tag matches that I've grown to really like. Riho, Chris Statlander, and Joel Mizunami against Nyla Rose, the Bunny, and Emi Sakura. It's an interesting way to sort of get the women out in front of people constantly. And for everybody to get to show their stuff a little bit and getting to cover some people a little bit here who may or may not need it. Nyla Rose in her new flying stuff hits an assisted senton Atomiko and covers, but no, we have a kick out here. And then Statlander picks up Sakura for the Big Bang Theory for the win. So a push for Statlander as she heads into her match with Ruby Soho and for the baby faces. Um, it is competitive, so did both sides look good? Most definitely. Did one team go over definitively? Yes. And was something advanced? Yes. Chris Statlander being tough as nails. And the feud between the various babyface and heel women continues in these matches. Some faces we haven't seen in a while, in the ring anyway. Aaron Solo and Nick Komoroto with QT Marshall at ringside, along with JD Drake and Ryan Nemeth against Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, and the Varsity Blondes, who have Arn Anderson and Julia Hart at ringside. So this idea of different babyface and different heels teaming up together happens. And we get a competitive match out of it. Did both sides look good? Most definitely. The Varsity Blondes in particular, I thought looks really, really good. And Arn does his little finger guns thing at QT Marshall. And Julia Hart slaps him. Um, Brock with the spine buster, Lee Johnson with a frog splash for the win. So the baby faces win yet again, and the fall of the factory continues. 3 check marks. John Silver versus Peter Avalon, and seeing Peter Avalon in the ring again is great. Apparently he was injured. We'll call this competitive, even though this is about the John Silver pushity push push push. Hits that spin doctor for the win. John Silver wins. That's a check mark. Does he win definitively? Most definitely. And is something, or both sides look good. John Silver wins definitively. And do both sides look good? Yes. And do something advanced? Yes. I suspect John Silver will now make his way through the rest of the Peter Avalon Kingmen. Peter Avalon, by the way, looks really good. He's been clearly working out as much as he could through his injury. Sonny Kiss versus Adam Grace. We haven't seen Adam Grace for a while. We really haven't seen Sonny Kiss. They'd had this feud with Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, which I guess they resolved. Pretty odd, though. Sonny Kiss does win, though, in definitive fashion. So that's first 2 check marks. And the Fireman's Carry split-legged stunner for the win, which is a bit of a new finisher for Sonny Kiss. And does Grace look good in defeat? I would say so. Yeah, nothing that special, but does his level best. Number 10, Preston Vance against Mikey Wild. You can guess how this goes. Tap out with the full Nelson, 3 check marks. We're reaching the end of this. All Ego, Ethan Page joins commentary. We have Craven Knight, with the strange spelling of night, against Scorpio Sky. I also like that AEW kind of lets you be yourself. I'll tell the story sometime about working with WWE and what they used to make you do if you were basically an indie guy wrestling one of their people. It was pretty ridiculous. Sky with that TKO for the win. Nothing that special here. And Scorpio Sky does his level best to carry the dude. He's a little awkward, but he's got a little size on him. But I'm only going to give this one 2 check marks. In any case, that's AEW Dark. I would say that for the first time in a few weeks, I would say Dark Elevation edged out Dark this week.